sea. Extreme ways that held me out late at night. Extreme places I had gone, that never seen any light. Dirty basements, dirty noise, dirty places coming home. Extreme worlds alone, did you ever like it then? I would stand in line for this. There's always room in life for this. And close my world, never open up to anything that could get me at all. I had to close down everything, I had to close down my mind. Too many things could cut me, too much could make me blind. I've seen so much in so many places, so many heartaches, so many faces, so many dirty things you couldn't even believe. I would stand in line for this. There's always room in life for this.
every day. And please check out Patreon gifts and go links are in the description box below, or send me a super chat over to Rumble live chat when the show is live, or subscribe to my channel and support me that way. Any support would be greatly appreciated. I can really use it. Right. Weather today, as predicted, is hot. Feels a bit warmer than it did yesterday. Beautiful skies though, like very deep blue. Oh, not as deep blue as it was yesterday. Like little hazy clouds hanging up there, here and there, but not overall. Right. Just look at that. Hello. It is Monday, the 30th of June, 2025. Temperature is 28 degrees Celsius. Yep. With 48% humidity, 0% precipitation, no surprise there. And 8 kilometers an hour wind. And the wind is like died down a bit, which is really why it's getting so hot, I think. Another moderate high temperature warning. Okay. In fact, I'm gonna give the plants some more water out here. The rosemary plant just looks dead completely, but I mean the leaves are not falling out. Just kind of weird. But yeah, I think I might need to get a new one. What a shame though. I only had it for like a month. And I thought it was like doing really well, but apparently it just couldn't handle that first heat wave. Guess when rosemary is still very young, you have to kind of be careful with hot days and direct sunlight. Right, hope everybody out there is doing okay. I feel pretty good, well rested. Don't particularly feel all sweaty or anything, so. But I mean, I did like freshen up the not too long ago, which was like the best timing ever. Right. Yeah, you really want to have everything be very, very clean when there's like a hot days are about to hit. That's the moment you want it, because if you don't, then like bacterial activities everywhere will suddenly start coming forth, and which brings smells. Right? Timing, it's all about the timing with everything, all those things. Cleaning things is really about the timing, because if you overdo it, it's not effective. It can be detrimental. But you gotta do spring cleaning like right when the spring starts setting back in, or after the coldest, after the cold retreats from the winter, because then bacteria also wake up, and that's what you're gonna do the cleaning. And like, if you know the heat of the summer is about to hit really big, that's when you should clean too, right before that. You'll be very happy you did. Alright, so these are some tips from Arwin. I mean, I'm fascinated with like seasonal effects and the cycle of nature. I mean, I guess I'm like a basic guy like that. We used to learn about that stuff too, like when I was really little. At the Waldorf school. Because they're into that sort of thing there too. But I mean, I've just learned so much just myself, just by paying attention. And figuring out how nature really works. And the things that don't work. Right? That distract you away from just attuning to the ancient knowledge, to the rhythms and the harmony. Right? Because medical industrial complex is not interested in us being in harmony. They want us in disharmony, because that way they can sell their drugs. So they got a lot of stories that will definitely make you, or at least try to make you, reprioritize yourself and latch onto learning the thing that's so important, like, oh, the virus, so how does the virus work, and all of basically science fiction reification based actions. And what sickness really is, where it comes from, how it's all related to toxicity, and that toxicity is a compounding effect, so different influences will pile on together. And the more influences pile on, the higher the symptom scale basically becomes. Right, so yeah, the terrain theory approach is that in mind, then you can think of all the seasonal cycles and all that, and it will fit way better. You just got to anticipate. You got to anticipate on the weather, like know what to do when the weather changes, basically. That's it. And like be more ecologically aware. And that doesn't just mean plants and animals, but also, well, bacteria, microorganisms. Oh, somebody's drilling in the wall. It's that time again. Can you guys hear that? Yeah, it does register. Great. Well, that was that, I guess. This is extremely distracting. Right. It's also, this is another weird thing, like getting really emotional and especially negative emotions can physically make you sick. Like it is a toxic influence, literally, to yourself and potentially to others, but it's only really toxic if it basically forces you out of stability. Then it becomes toxic. Other than that, it's like other people are toxic and it doesn't really, like, you know how to close off from it. Like it doesn't really have an influence on your physiology. But if something gets to you, if you're like getting really triggered about something, well, that is a compounding factor you're adding. It can literally make you sick. Being upset can make you sick. But just being upset alone about something does not make you sick. But it can be something that pulls you over the threshold. So that if you were at risk of becoming sick, and with some people you can feel that. I can feel that. And I have to be careful then. And then you can sense, like, if I become upset right now in this condition, I'll become sick. And, like, I don't want to, right? Who wants to get sick? I mean, sometimes it's like, I've been like this for a long time. If I just get sick, then my body cleans it up. And then after that, I'll be good again. So sometimes you might say, like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go all in, because after this there's like, I'm on a vacation or whatever, like there's nothing really urgent that requires a lot of focus that I have to do, so I'm just gonna let myself go for a bit. And then you might become sick, and then you can go through that transformation, because it is a cleanup process every time. It always is that. You gotta realize that. Sickness symptoms are always your body trying to clean things up. And that's also psychologically a very good thing to keep in your mind, because then you don't look as your kind of probably at least partially miserable state of being as something that you hate. That you're going to be miserable about being sick. It's like you should actually be relieved and potentially even thankful to God. Thank the designer that it works. And that even arguably being miserable for a little bit, like, has a huge benefit after that. Right? Because nothing is worse than a person that gets really sick and then super cranky and like hateful or whatever about it. Because usually they then get a lot more sick, to the point where they like completely get out of it, and then they can't have any normal state of being even. I've seen that too. Especially like if a person like doesn't really manage their own health too well. They're like on some job and it's really tight, and then they suddenly get sick and it ruins the whole plan, and they might even lose their job or something. Dude, people can go in conniption fit over that while they're sick. And when that happens, like, sometimes it takes a giant turn for the worse right after that point. Like, your attitude really, like, scientifically, you can argue matters. It matters for what it'll do to you. So you can't live always indulging whatever feelings comes out, right? Because letting out your feelings can be very relieving. It can relieve tensions. I mean, that's kind of why you let out emotions. But depending on where that release will then lead you directly with it, well, people that subtly let out their emotions, they've overlooked that when you have strong emotions, it colors the way everything look, and that you will think illogical things to be logical because of those emotions. And it's very persistent, very specific way that that effect happens. But yeah, no, I lost my train of thought with that. Damn it. Right, like how people can get sick and then get really angry, and then because they're already in the middle of like the hassle of cleaning up, like their anger can just like acidify things. I think that might even be literally. And then you can get way more sick and other parts become sick. But I mean, eventually it always will like knock you out. Right, it's very rarely that somebody would get really sick and then release so much tension that they could like get more sick than they could physically handle, because that can happen. It does not happen a lot, but especially people that for very, very long times always hold in their emotions. They have emotions, but they never express them, and they're used to basically being on high pressure. Well, if such a person would release in the middle of being sick, it tends to give them a lot of trouble. And I know from experience, because I didn't used to always be so expressive. Like, I'm way more expressive. I have been way more expressive on my show than I am in normal face-to-face life. Because you can do that, and it's like a mission. It was a mission of honesty and of study to do all that, to just show myself. But in the normal day-to-day life, yeah, I mean, it's different. I keep it mostly to myself. I will like express opinions, but I'll never like get carried away with it. And like on the internet over here with people that debate and all that, I have more tendency to get carried away with it. This is because just the way I compose myself is just different. But it is really me. It's just like a different setting of me. A different attitudinal setting. Right, but yeah, you gotta be careful with your emotions when you risk becoming sick. Always be careful with that. Right. And there's a lot of frustrating things happening out there in the world. So everybody is, you gotta be like staying out of it on purpose very effectively to not know how crazy shit is out there. These kinds of details, right? So with the Iran and Israel situation, apparently there was some imam or whatever, an ayatollah, some person in Iran calling for the jihad, but And everybody like panicked, including myself, because like, what the fuck? Like, it really? But then there was no real response. Why? Because, well, the main guy, the Islamic Pope, as it were, has to do, he's the only one that can do that. If some imam somewhere does that, and I mean, it does kind of happen, well, regularly, I don't know, it's not uncommon. I've heard of that sort of thing happening for, yeah, throughout my life, just through the news and whatever. But it has to be like the main guy to do it, otherwise, like, nobody, yeah, the Islamic world does not have to obey according to their rules. It's just like the people that would specifically follow that guy, like, may have to respond, kind of thing. So it's weird. I mean, this is like Islamic politics, like religious politics, theocracy politics, and it's weird. It's so different, right? But I mean, nothing is happening, so it does seem to be stabilizing the situation. And I'm pretty sure that Israel, IDF, and Netanyahu are up to more stuff, more of this sort of thing, because they've kind of like declared, Netanyahu's basically declared his what is it, Jewish jihad, I don't even know how they call it, a thing where it's like, oh, we're gonna take them down or perish or whatever. It's like, he wants to take it all down, and he's already proven that he's just not listening. Like, he doesn't really care what Trump's plans are and all that. He broke the ceasefire. But I mean, yeah, no massive World War III rollout. Although all the players on the board have kind of like did a whoo moment where they all show themselves like, hey, if this is gonna go out of control, we're gonna do our thing. They've revealed, like, we know what could happen. That did happen, like, and that was very palpable everywhere. So it is, maybe this is equivalent to like the Cuban Missile Crisis. I wasn't there, I never followed it, I was too young when that happened. Or was even before I was born, I'm not sure. But I've heard of it. And I mean, it is like right on the edge of total war. And like when that burns loose, it's like, it things. And we are on the edge of that. But all parties do agree, so it seems, except maybe Netanyahu, that we don't want it. Nobody, like, everybody's like, no, we want to stay defensive. We don't want that. And that's great. That's a relief. That means that the big leaders are at least in that state. There's no nasty ones that are like, we're gonna go after everybody and like we're gonna keep messing with stuff until the shit does break loose. There's nobody like whose plan it is to basically create that world war. Except maybe Netanyahu. And hey, that's why, Israeli regime change is not an unrealistic thing to look forward to. Like, I think it's gonna happen. Dare I say, I've even seen some of it in the dark world. Ooh, how dare you? like in the interest of the Jewish people. And I mean that very seriously. It's even like I had always just wanted to be like, yeah, I just wanted to be nice, and I just want you to feel safe and have your own place, and you could just be Jews among one another and all that, right? Even if just to get them off our backs or something. It's just like, just let them have their thing. But I mean, with Netanyahu doing what he's doing for the reasons that he's doing it, like, that'll never happen. It's like just ruining everything. It's ruining everything for the Jews. Like their image, which was never super popular, but now it's like, holy shit, man. It's like looking more and more like the Nazis that they hated so much. And it's like, that's not good. It's not good for them. It's gonna drag them down into the doom, and I don't want that. I want them to get back to the point where they just are just Jews that are like creative and inspired and not so nasty and not so obsessed and militant in their attitudes. Because then they're great when they're not like that. And I think that a regime change with Netanyahu could accomplish that, could basically calm them all back the fuck down. And I think that most of them also want that, really. There's Jews that do speak out about it. It's getting out there. And I'm really glad, I'm really relieved. So that I don't just have to feel like that alone and like keep it to myself, because if I speak out I'm gonna get targeted, and I'm thank God I'm not the only one that thinks that. Ugh. Right. Let's try to put something in the title here. Right. Also, there is another weird thing. It's weird though, and I mean, it's gonna trigger people. It's something like a message I almost want to give Owen Benjamin directly. We need the Jews. You know why we need them? Because of the giant epidemic of gammas in the world. It's an epidemic in all kinds of forms. And like, we need the Jews to basically trick them into either becoming productive again or to remove themselves from the equation. To pacify them. because gammas are like really a very acute problem. It's like a psychological, emotional, social attitude setting that's like out of control, and it's like very damaging to everybody. And like once that really settles in, it becomes like an addiction to being out of control. And like you can't stop that. It rewrites the personality. Once somebody's really infected with gamma behavior, like it'll be a part of them forever. They will forever have tendencies to do that. And it's tragic, but the result is damaging. And in a world where there's a lot of psychological warfare, there will be a lot of gammas. They are like the result of the psychological warfare and propaganda and social engineering. It's the natural response. It's like a hostile attitude on a spiritual level that's a logical result, in a way you can consider, to the influence of the world. But what it does is it loses that anchor spirit. It loses some of God's connection. When you do that, you get closer to the devil and the devil's behavior. And gammas are very obstructionist and very demoralizing, and they sabotage. And they sabotage everything, including things that are like really good, because they can't see it. They can't see what they're damaging. Hello Mojo, by the way, good to see you. And the Jews know how to deal with them. Like they've had their systems, their sneaky, tricky systems, which arguably aren't like even written down. It's like genetically programmed with them. And I mean, hey, that's your talent. Well, maybe that talent has been like that for a reason. Like, I think Jews have a function. They have a spiritual function in their bizarre oppositional way. And it's not to carry out the beast program and to like flaunt their weirdness and their like arguably perversions in the face of those that aren't part of that. It's not that. It's understanding people's behavior and bad behavior and creating systems to basically get them in line. Like, in a way, the SJW movement, and we've all seen that in like, what the fuck is this? Like, crazy fucking people. Yeah? Well, what if they didn't have that movement? Yeah, that movement is kind of social engineered and directed and sponsored by a bunch of Jews, including George Soros. And I mean, he does weaponize it to make it like a real pain in the ass. But those people, imagine what their life would be like if they would even be alive, if there wasn't some kind of movement that they could be a part of the movement. And they can even like deploy their craziness and express it, which to a lot of people seems like demonic. But to them, like, that's what you do in that group, and everybody's okay with it, and nobody flaunches or like does that. Like, nobody, because it's like, no, this is part of it. So it's an engineered movement by Jews to actually gain a bit of control over these people, because a lot of them are like genuinely insane. Without that movement, they might like get into trouble in their life and really end up in a padded room because of harm to others and harm to self. So you gotta marvel at the ability to basically create social engineering systems to deal with the derangements. Now the problem is if we the world can heal the Jews, get them out of their war obsessions, and get them back to what they're good at, then we could deal with the sickness in the world, societal sickness, but it also has to then be dialed down. I mean, it's all coming from like the corporate attitudes, from the hostility that is being social engineered for profit. That is a lot of cause for the derangement, because I mean, the corporate dark spirit counts on people to be broken in order to basically loot the remains. That is like part of what they do, underlying all of it. It's like they've become mega corporations are very parasitical. Very, very parasitical. Like, they don't give a shit about people's condition. They want to catch your feelings and then basically do with you as they see fit. They'd frickin' organ harvest you if they could legally. That's how little they actually care about their target. It's all just social engineering systems to them. Very sociopathic. And this, in my opinion, in my vision, is part of the reason why mental derangements and gamma syndrome are at an all-time high. And the only way to reverse that trend over time is to get those specific influences out of the way. Corporatism, the merciless, evil corporatism must be put into bondage and stopped from being allowed to be applied to society. And that would be a good start. It would have a massive influence as a start, and it would be good enough to just leave it to that, like for me in this conversation, in this expose, in this monologue. But that would be a good start, and then, like, yeah, the Jews, like, let's create this new society with what is there, realize all the damaged people. What can you create for them? Microculture, micro-societies, but in a way to heal them, so they can all kind of come back together again in the end. This can be done. Problem is, will it be done? Because this is like after it's over kind of thing. This is the kind of thing that could be decided to be done after the wars are over, after peace is finally true again and stable. And I'm just looking forward to it. I've just seen so much damage. I've seen people that just seemed like normal, great people just become infected with demonic behavior. And, oh, look who's talking. Yeah, I know. I had it too in my own way. Like, I've been out of control in that sense. It's like I opened it up. Well, that behavior was going around and I kind of just let it in. It's like, okay, I'm going to talk to that on their level. Which in retrospect was really bad idea. But I mean, it's kind of how I work. Because I'm like a spiritual shapeshifter kind of socially. I just adapt to whatever is there, even if that thing is out of control. And that can be extremely useful, because that way it allows me to communicate with people that are not used to being able to be understood by other people, because they're so alien in ways. Like a lot of these SJW type weirdos, I can actually really communicate well with them, in my experience, and they will like be very appreciative because it's so rare to them. And they do have faculties once they stop being so out of control. They do have faculties underneath that. They can remember what it is to be human, really. Underneath it. They just forgotten, they abandoned it, and then became the other way. But they can be made to remember. They just have to be seen and understood. It doesn't mean like, oh, poor boy. No, not that. Because that, again, is like, they just have to be taken serious. It's like, yeah, but they're so crazy and out of control and they look ridiculous. It's like, yeah. And they're doing that to prevent that from happening. They're escapist. They're escaping it. They're distracting you to prevent that connection, to prevent being seen for what they really are underneath, which is not a demon. Yeah, that's on the surface. Underneath, like who they originally are, what kind of person they were as a kid, what the things that they've experienced, how they had expectations of the world, and then all this dark shit started to leak in, and they were shocked and probably flipped around spiritually, like into a reversed world. I mean, it happened to me. I mean, I never denied that. It happened to me, like in my teens. I couldn't handle the truth, and so it's like, okay, so the world is just completely ruled by evil. Well, I think then that I have to just, like, in order to not be seen as weak, which is like really weird and asinine in a way. But I mean, I didn't really totally understand what evil was then. That evil is actually way more the weakness than it is like aggression. Oh, hello Mojo. Are you against Zionism and warmongering? Yeah, well, they're kind of equal. I mean, I am not against a state of Israel. Even though there are problems with it, legally, judicially, I mean, there really are, but I'm not like, oh, no, it's all real and they deserve it. I'm not fanatic about it. I'm just like, yeah, they really want it. Maybe they should get it, but in a peaceful way. If they can. I mean, it is their test. Like, can you do it? Or if you're going to take the war criminal at the helm, if you're going to take him away and replace him, is the same shit gonna happen again? Because if the Jews can't just be at peace in the Middle East, then eventually, like, then they just prove that it can't work. So in the end, it's up to them. Like, can they be peaceful in the Middle East? Because that will determine whether they deserve to have their Israel. Right? So yeah, I am against warmongering, and that's happening a lot. They're all in it right now. And I'm against that. And it's like, you don't know what you're doing. You have no idea what, like, the long-term repercussions will be for Jews. Like, there's tons of Jews out there in the world, all over the place, all kinds of tribes. And a lot of them are like, oh, Jesus. Like, fuck. Like, now everybody's gonna look at it. God damn it, I thought we were over this shit. Right? Thanks, Netanyahu. Right? There's tons of Jews out there, and I'm like with them. Like, dude, this is bad. This is bad for Jews. This is bad for Jews. This is not good. Right? Bad for, yeah, not bad for business probably. Although, I mean, like, Tel Aviv just getting destroyed, I mean, that is not good for business. Right? a lot of Jews lost their business. They lost their investments. You gotta realize that really hurts them. Like, they're like, damn it. And a lot of them probably also have family, like, in Israel that also got killed. And, like, I'm not, like, here now being, oh, I like the Jews more than Iran. No, absolutely. Dude, with Iran, it's... I have already, like, seen footage of there, and it's, like, heartbreaking, man. The Iranians are really interesting people with... They have a deep heart. And they're smart, on average. And so, yeah, it's just... A lot of Iranians are kind of like stuck in between, like, the Islamists. And they can get along. But, and the Jews from Israel, and they're, like, getting caught up in this, and, like... It's just terrible. Both sides are suffering. Right? But I mean, I don't think, like, the Iranian people, there's so many of them, like, they're not gonna... I think they will probably, after all of this is over, they will, like, have a bit of a... like a baby boom, probably. After all this war is over. Because that is the natural response to when you get a war. When there's a lot of victims, well, then there's like this... When it's over, it's like a relief, and then a lot of women are like, I'm gonna make babies! Like, that's what happens. It's a natural social system. So they'll be fine. They have a lot of... There's a lot of Iranians. Of all sorts. So in a way, I'm less worried about them than I am about the Jews. Not because I like the Jews more, but because they have so much influence, really. I mean, literally, like, Jews have tons of influence in the West through media, and it doesn't have to all be bad. I mean... I just want to reform. I just, like, could we just move on? Realize that this crazy plan to, like, the replacement migration is something that really needs to end. Like, it's not fair. You can't blame locals for also becoming less productive when the environment is being taken over and there's, like, hostilities. Like, it does... Especially the white people, they become retracted. They start to go into, like, mountain mode. Like, it's very unsafe. You gotta be at the safe place to prevent being raided and shit. You're gonna go out less. You're gonna be able to focus less on just thriving through industry, because thriving through industry requires safety, total safety and reliability on everybody, so they can just focus on the job and, like, their skill and just become supreme at that. It requires absolute safety. When there's just mobs of other cultures, other races out there, and they're being invasive and dominant and patronizing, it prevents whites from being able to do that, from becoming as productive and creative as they could be. It is a real thing. You can't just say it's all the foreigners, but in a way it does influence it. That is logically true. Do you think Israel and Iran is a holy war? Poof. Well, I mean, is any war a holy war, or is war unholy per definition? I think it's kind of a weird malformed question, but I mean, to them it's a holy war. Within their fanaticism, it is a holy war. For these specific fanatical Jews and the Shiite Islam, yeah, for them it is probably a holy war. And I mean, it has all the signs to it. Like, how they would interpret it. Like, maniacal opponents on their own level. Both like, oh, we're gonna extinguish the other. Like, yeah, I mean, you'd have to see it as a holy war almost. The problem is, like, how are they going to conduct that holy war? Are they going to end up seeking the higher ground and winning like that? Showing that they're more noble in their warfare, because on the long run, showing that you are really noble in war is actually the winning move. It's not how many kills you get. Yeah? Because that leaves a scar on the soul for everybody that knows it. That happened. That's a mark. No, you gotta win a war by being smart and actually minimizing casualties. On both sides, if possible. Like, that's how you keep the high ground. That's how you truly come out the winner. Because if you're just in the mindset of war, we gotta win the war, then you lose. Because if you can't create and visualize the world after the war and have that as the target goal, then the war will consume the future. You become obsessed with winning, you make sacrifices, and then you don't realize the aftermath. You get caught up in like a frenzy spirit, the devil arguably, and sacrifice to it for that win, for that earthly power in that one moment. But what will be left? How will people think of what you did afterward? Right? You can think, oh, the winner writes the history. Yeah, but I mean, do they anymore? Do the winners really write the history, or is that actually a thing that's kind of like stopped in the 20th century with the birth of the internet? Right? People make up their own minds now about what happens. You can write books about it, but people then know this is a fucking lie. So the winner does not necessarily write the history books now. Right? It's the witnesses. People that just see what's happening. They know what's going on. Right? So by keeping that in mind, the witnesses are out there. They cannot be stopped. You can't just like do whatever you want and then make up a story and then expect everybody to believe it. Doesn't work anymore. So you have to keep the high ground. And this is a lesson that I think Russia very wisely learned and realized and visioned. These Russians are freaking geniuses. The ones that are smart out there. Probably some Jews among them too. I mean, they see this sort of thing. They know the way to win is to have the high ground, and they're doing it. They have been doing it. They've been doing it for a while, and they are winning. And everybody knows it. Like, everybody knows it. And by opposing them, by becoming these creepy Marxist NATO people, everybody hates them. Why? Because they're wrong. and they're lying and they don't have the high ground, and Russia has the high ground morally, and that's why they win. And you can't stop somebody that has the high ground by undermining it, because it doesn't work. Not anymore. Only in total secrecy does that work, and there is no more total secrecy. The witnesses are out. The witnesses are free to see. There's no more layers in between like there used to be to cover it up, so you can compartmentalize what really happened and what you want everybody to believe. There's no more layers in between that gives that governmental mind control ability. It just doesn't work like that anymore. You can tell people the official narrative and then they can be statist and like repeat it to serve the government or whatever. But people that really know, that have cognition, they're not fooled by this. It only works for the complacent, for those that lost their own individuality under the weight of all of it, or that never really had that to begin with. Right, the witnesses are out. I should put this in the title. I'm getting really fired up today. Let's cut it down a bit and add to it seasonal cycles is no need. It was discussed. Wow, I'm really glad I did my show today. I was thinking earlier like maybe I'm gonna skip it, but I'm very inspired. I hope people appreciate what I do. I get extremely little feedback. Except maybe some people in the chat that are like, yeah. But I mean, sometimes I wonder, are there people out there that do actually watch my show and just don't really talk about it, but they do like get inspired by the forums, the things that I talk about, and they might lend certain ideas and roll out their expose using similarities and maybe certain keywords or something, but just the idea of it. I wondered, do I get any attention about that at all? Because a lot of times it's felt like that. I'm rolling something out, and then that very day, it seems like I'm getting an answer to what rolled out of me. It's kind of weird, it's almost MK Ultra-ish or something. Like, I can't really prove that they're communicating with me, but it does really... I just can feel the resonance with what I talked about. A lot of the time. Like, I'm getting a response. It's very strange. Maybe it's a bit of schizoid effect or something. I'm not sure. It's a feeling. So... it's like synchronicities. Like, where are they coming from? Where are these synchronicities? Like, what the fuck are synchronicities? Really, guys? What the hell are they? because sometimes it just looks like the entire reality rollout, what we do is kind of like an illusion. I'm starting to really think more like Matt from Quantum of Conscious in that sense. Like, are synchronicities actually the real underlying communication? Like a communication that happens in the spiritual realm exclusively, and then we get to see the echoes of it in the physical reality. I mean, where does the information come from that comes out of us when we explain things? I argue it comes out of God. It comes from the other side. So if it comes from the other side, is the other side communicating with the other people that tune into that in the background? Is that what synchronicities are? It's like we're all these people that are kind of busying themselves with like and visualizing it behind in the other realm, communicating with each other. Is that what causes synchronicities? Is it the communication in the other realm? Like how? Because like I can't find any evidence that they even really know who I am. I mean, like with Alex Jones, it's sometimes like, it is like that stupid person that's always whining about nukes are fake and flat earth. I mean, that immediately makes me think like, dude, does he actually pay attention to what I say in the chat? That's hilarious. But I'm not sure. I mean, there's a lot of people doing a lot of stuff there, so I don't know. But I have been very persistent about, hey, nukes are fake, but don't worry, right? All this nuke CGI is, oh my god! But I mean, that's never gonna happen. But I mean, have you ever seen a city getting firebombed? That's pretty freaking horrific, and it's real. Right? Don't you worry, right? Oh no, the nukes are not real, then nothing is real. Oh yeah, shit can blow up, can burn, it can be absolutely devastating. I mean, I think that the frickin' missile exchange between Tel Aviv and Tehran has been pretty damn devastating, if you ask me. And that's just regular explosive missiles. I mean, they fucked it all up. Right? Like, who needs nukes? It's just an idea. It really is. It's just an idea of the most extreme. The greatest extremity. It's not real, though. And thank God it's not real. It doesn't need to be real. I mean, people can just see the results of war. They can see how things are devastated. You don't need really nukes. I think that they're kind of superfluous. Like with the media age now, people are not being withheld from the devastation that war causes. It's like people can film it. They film it, they put it on the internet, it's everywhere, and you can see every freaking detail. You can see freaking corpses and horrible wounded, and it's like every time, plenty. I think that the idea of a nuke is outdated. I think it worked in the 20th century. You have early television and all that, and you can do trickery and then do that. But not like as a deterrent for war. Right? But now, like, it doesn't really work anymore. And besides, people can see. They can see. You don't have to be, we're against the war because of nukes. No, we're against the war because fucking war is horrific and we get to see how horrific it is. We don't need to have some virtual nuke idea as a threat. We could just see how freaking horrendous war is through media and social media. Yeah. Like, people get it already. Because, like, in the early 20th century, people didn't see it up close, and then they were just, like, thinking of it as, like, a game. And they didn't realize how horrible it was until they became part of it. And then coming back, they were misunderstood by other people that just didn't get it because it wasn't displayed in their face continually. And so a piece of propaganda called nukes had to then be invented to get people's attention, even though they didn't get to see any war up close. And that worked. Now we get to see all the horrors of war up close, all the time. There's no more need for a piece of propaganda to get people's attention about war. We get to see the carnage up close, and it's like, it's crap, it's horrifying, and it's like, you gotta be a real psychopath to be pro-war with anything at this point. Because you know how horrifying it gets. And other people know too, so you gotta be a real stuck-up asshole sociopath to be pro-war for any reason. Really. Other than we're getting invaded. Literally. Like, if it's literally happening, then yeah, I mean, defend. Of course. Right. Did you hear Israel wanted to do false flag ops in the US framing area? I didn't need to hear that. I knew they were. Yeah, sorry, Moja, being a little aggressive here. But yeah, I mean, Israel doing false flags? No, they'd never. Yeah, duh. Right, but I mean, if they do that, then Trump should actually not play into that. If he does, like, he's gonna be frickin' cursed, man. It's gonna be frickin' cursed. Right? But what I think will happen if Israel is gonna unroll some kind of false flag shit in the US, I think Trump will actually just dig in on that, find the roots, and then, like, if he can prove that Israel actually ordered the false flag, then he has an excuse to basically say regime change Israel. I'm really hoping for it. I think that is what is going to happen. I think that is what's going to happen. And here's the thing. With the regime change, everybody's probably going to be like, that new guy, I don't know about that. But I mean, you can say at least it's not Netanyahu, and at least it just means the end of that part. And then probably more trouble in the future. Right? But at least it will be stopped. And then you get the whole Golden Dome for Israel and all that, which is part of my prediction. I mean, this is like a very distinct thing in my vision. One of the more interesting parts of it that are not just horrifying. Maybe it's the divine spark within us that has to roll out the insane spell that's on. What? I don't know about that. Right, but look, whenever there's like some kind of false flag attack, you just gotta follow the money trail, figure out the roots, who ordered that, and then you know, like, does this lead to like some Iranian Ayatollah or whatever? Or does this lead to the IDF generals? That's it. Right? So it's up to Trump. Are you going to play their game again? You can see right through it. It's not working. And Trump knows, like, this is not working. Like, this neocon game, it did not work. He's kind of pissed off about it. So I think that if there's going to be a false flag in the US, he's actually going to get to the bottom of it. And if it turns out that it is like Israel, they're gonna have a big problem on their hands. And I mean, it might go pretty damn crazy too. I mean, I also predicted that Israel would even like Netanyahu would like declare war on the US. Like right on camera, and like everybody's like, what the fuck? Like, could happen. So yeah, some pretty daunting predictions, and I'm laying it down like, yeah, oh hey everybody out there, yeah, it is the 30th of June 2025, and I just made specific predictions about what I think is going to happen based on my visions. Yeah, so think of it what you will, this is literally a prediction based on my visions. And here's the thing, I don't know if it's going to really happen, but this is what I saw. Gog and Magog. Hey, Max out there. I hope everybody's having a great day. Don't forget to Rogan's it up if you're liking the stream. I'm really liking the stream. I feel like very inspired and fluid. And I'm kind of excited about just making these predictions very clearly. Right, yeah, Maxed Out Bear. What exactly about Gog and Magog? Why did you bring that up? Hope you're all enjoying the show. Whoa, damn, I got a bunch of Rogan ups. Huh. Nice. There's some really nice big butterflies out there. Yeah, and there's no trails. I mean, I'm very happy with the weather today. Beautiful. Alleged prophecies. The world stage, US, Iran, Israel. Okay. Maybe, maxed out bear, maybe. I'm not necessarily tying that in, but I mean... I understand people could see it as such. Yeah, I'm very proud of this show today. Very good. Like this is what I try to do, right? I do tie it all in together because it's just these pattern structures everywhere, and it makes sense to me. Like this is what I do. The overstructures. The influences, like it's all fractal patterns to me, and it makes sense, and it is logically consistent in what happens, and I have examples in the past, like of how things responded, and so you now know how it responded, and then you can see like a curve in like upgrowing tensions and also moral pollution, increased social media. All these influences all overlap and all have their compounding effects and the results that come out of it, how people end up forming themselves and what happens. Trump declaring war on Israel and removing Netanyahu would be a sight to behold. Yeah, and it would, it sounds weird, it would help him regain. It would actually fix MAGA in a big way. But I mean, it won't be without a price though. Because you know the Netanyahu is not going to make it easy. But I mean, maybe Trump could get like a lot of the Israelis actually to side with him, and then the damage might be relatively minimum. Right, but I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen directly now. It's not like, oh, this could happen any day now. No, it's saying this is like what would roll out eventually. And I mean, it could be any moment, but it could also be in quite a while. And Israel and Iran are just gonna like keep duking it out. I don't know how long that's gonna take. But I mean, Mojo, it'll never be like Trump declaring war on Israel. I think I never said that, by the way, too. It's Netanyahu declaring war on the United States and saying like, you betrayed us and blah 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 and all that, and trying to appeal to BRICS, and that wouldn't work. I don't think like the US, I mean, because declaring war, right? I mean, a president can't even declare war technically. Can roll out missions, and which is dubious, right? It's kind of neocon behavior. That's what he can do. but not declare war. And I mean, the US government never going to declare war on Israel. I mean, look at all the APACs, right? All the dual citizen Israeli. I mean, it would never work. Right. No, if it would happen, it would probably be a combination of like under the radar operations, black ops. And it's going to be tough because Israelis are very good with that sort of thing. And against it. It's very hard to get into Israel in that way. But I mean, the US will figure out a way to do it. Represent it in real life. Yeah, of course, maxed out. There's always going to be this tendency to make biblical comparisons, even though, like, biblically, technically, like, current Israel just has no legitimate claims biblically. It really doesn't. That is a piece of propaganda that they have created about themselves. And it is widely recognized among many Jews, rabbis, that that's just incorrect. And they have figured that out for a long time. Right? So it is technically propaganda. And of course it will be echoed through media. Right? But, I mean, many of the wiser Jews, they know it doesn't hold up. They're not buying it. Right? It almost seems like it's more part of a trick they're playing on US Christians. Because they seem to be, the churchians in the US they're like, oh, Zion. They're the ones that seem to be receiving all this biblical propaganda about Israel. They seem to be the prime target for it. Jews, not so much. Yeah, I know you know. I know you know, Maxed Out Bear. Don't worry. I don't think you're ignorant. I appreciate your input here. Many others want to bring it about. Yeah, well, that seems to be part of this. Yeah, the current Israeli administration, they are like, they want that. Yes. Zionist Christians. Oh, God. Yeah, so you're basically agreeing with me on that, Maxed Out Bear. It's religious propaganda, which is what it is. It's religious political propaganda. And they are doing it, by the way. They are attempting to basically show, like, no, this is wrong. This is not how it works. This is illegitimate. And here's why. So, yeah. Christians that know that this is propaganda, they are working at it very carefully and educating Americans about it. So there's that. That does help. Vast majority of the world's Zionists are Christian. Really? Huh. I never realized that. I didn't know it was that extreme. Weird. No, but it isn't though, Maxed Out Bear. It specifically isn't. It's religious propaganda. It's something that's just vastly rumored, and I mean, priests have been paid, right? They've been paid to roll out those viewpoints, even though they are incorrect. It's literally paid for religious propaganda for political goals. That's what it is. And I mean, that can go away very quickly. I mean, as soon as, like, those priests that are paid to do that stop doing that, people will drop it very quickly. There is no such thing as a non-Zionist Christian. That's ridiculous, Anar. That is totally ridiculous. Yeah, Zionism is a political movement. It has nothing to do with Christianity. It's literally an echo from the far past placed onto the current day incorrectly. The connections that are made are incorrect. So that's just, you can think that you're just incorrect. So that's what it is. Alright, anyway, I'm gonna take a 2-minute break and I'll be right back. baked into Christianity, how faded it. I don't know, Max. I mean, if what you're saying is real, then then there's a huge problem with Christianity. It's just it's just wrong. Very weird. I mean, it just shouldn't be like that. It's wrong. But I mean, then again, there's a lot of things that are kind of wrong about Christianity. Like, if you're gonna declare him to be God himself, for example, that's a mistake, and I mean, there's tons of mistakes. And then I guess that those mistakes all combined just make this sort of thing happen. Pretend that what I'm saying is false? Now, I'm not saying you're incorrect. I'm saying that it's wrong of Christianity. Like, it's just a giant mistake. The great Adam Green? What? Really great Adam Green? Okay, a nerve. Right, well, let's just say that this general form of Christianity that you see has all these problems and vulnerable to Zionist propaganda, like, I am not a part of that. If that is what it means to be a Christian, then let me be blatantly clear, I am not a Christian. If that means that all those things, I'm not a Christian. Yeah, I'm a follower of the teachings of Jesus. Follow his words, follow his wisdom, recognize him as a prophet, as somebody who was with God and spoke the purest wisdom of God. And that's it. And like, there shouldn't be even organized religions with hierarchies or some person that represents God. Like, none of that. Like, that's all against Jesus's teachings. And so that's the sort of Christian that I am, which apparently is not a Christian. And lots of Christians out there also like to come by sometimes like, oh, you're not a real Christian, they're gonna call me a Muslim or a Jew or anything. And I'm like, wow, somebody got caught up with the political propaganda, completely caught up in it. Like, Siach? What? Yeah, I don't know what that means either. Mojo. Ah. The Goy Messiah, Adam Green. Okay, now I get it. Yeah. It's ironic because technically that is like what Jesus was also. So it's like, no. Christians don't need a new Messiah. They just need to listen to the one they have and stop listening to men. I hope everybody appreciates the show. I mean, I'm having a great time. I think it's a very interesting first hour, and it's still interesting right now. I like this conversation. Alright, so don't forget to Rogan's it up if you're liking it. Oh, cool, Maxed Out Bear. So, you didn't turn him on to Arwin, did you? You thought that maybe Arwin would be a little bit too much for him? Does everybody just want to keep me as their secret friend or something? Great. I mean, I might just as well tell people to not share this show on any platform you doing fit. It seems like nobody ever shares my show ever. Like, wow, you discovered me. You like to hang around. Are you going to share it? Or are you just going to let trolls be the ones that advertise for me exclusively? Like, I never heard anybody that came here to the chat like, hey, yeah, this guy told me about this show and just was gonna say hello. Right, maybe my system of just finding a way through and looking in between, maybe it's just not for everybody. I mean, I get it, not everybody's gonna appreciate this show. Right? If the ideas don't titillate you specifically that I have, then I guess that the show is not that great. I mean, I'm not super fluid. It's just like never silent and always have something interesting to say. I'm not super organized in that sense. But I don't know. I think my shows are decently entertaining. Benjamin's chat. Yeah, that makes sense. Maxed out bear. Yeah. And then I got banned. I mean, I kind of wish that Coddington would just unban me again. I don't know what the trolls are going to do, if they still even care. Right? I mean, none of the trolls actually show up in Owen Benjamin's chat ever, because they never cared about it at all. They just cared that I was there and that they wanted to deprive me of that, and that's it. Like, these people don't give a fuck about any place that I like to visit. They don't actually care about it. They just want to get in my way. That's all they ever want. Fuck yourself. You assholes never even watch the show. Yeah, so hey, if you guys are out there somewhere and it's like, hey, this person is bringing up this subject, that's kind of like what Arwen was talking about. Maybe maybe you could like tell them like, hey, there's this guy called, check out this show, like he's talking about that. Yeah, maybe you could do that, right? Instead of just like enjoying me and like outside of what I do, just like I don't even exist. Maybe you could tell somebody about what I do, you know? You shared my show one time and your friend didn't like me for whatever. Did he say what reason? Right? Maybe it doesn't like the way I look or something, or just doesn't like the sound. Could be. Guess you didn't ask. I'm glad you still like my show though, Mojo. I do appreciate it. I don't know. Maybe it's like the title that it's Flat Earth Early Bird, and that people that watch it for the first time, they just expect me to start talking about Flat Earth. Even though in practice, it kind of rarely comes up even. So maybe that's why they didn't like it, because they expected me to talk more about Flat Earth. I mean, I still have my shows where I do absolutely go into the details of that, and looping and the non-local holographic angular manifestations, celestials, and all the dilemmas and the mystery that is still there concerning our realm and what it is in its totality. It's not like I never talk about Flat Earth. No. I think Mojo might be having a delay. I can't really complain about Rumble. I mean, it seems to be working perfectly, and so does OBS, so... So that's something. Let's have a look around. Okay, Gordle. Yeah, I already said that. Brilliant. Did you come up with that all yourself? After I just said that, Gordle? Right? But I mean, if they're like, oh, I want to know about Flat Earth, I have shows in which very much there in the title. And when it's like really in the title, that means I'm going to be talking about that on the show. When there's subjects that you know are about Flat Earth mechanics and physics and all that, and my model and all that, I have shows that are dedicated to that. If you think they're interested in that specifically, then you should point them at those shows specifically. Right? And if you think they're interested in my geopolitical views and social engineering and psychology, etc., then you should point at shows like these that I had today. tough if I don't like it. Yeah, well, Gortle, sometimes, you know, I don't really care. If people are only want to bicker about flat Earth all day long, like, I've gone through that. Never really liked the bickering part. Definitely like learning about it, figuring it out, knowing how the Earth is flat. But I mean, I've been doing this show for so long, like, eventually, like, I just don't want to keep repeating the same process over and over again. If you really like that, then Flat Earth Hates, a Nathan Oakley show is your thing. This is going to be what you're looking for, and not me. No need for attitude. No, there was a need for attitude because I literally just addressed it. I don't know, Gordon. Maybe you're really late. Maybe you have a delay. Right, but I mean, with my shows, I don't know. It's not and not every show that I do is. Okay, OBS cut out there for a bit, but it's back. Call it something. No, I'm not gonna call the show that has been called that for 2,334 episodes. I'm not gonna call it something else because I don't just end up talking about Flat Earth every single show. Gordle. I'm not gonna call it anything different. The show is called Flat Earth Early Bird. Right. I think I'm gonna round out the show. It's been over 2 hours and it's been good. But I'm getting hungry. Good points have been made. Predictions have been made. Hope you all appreciated it. I mean, I got multiple Rogans up, so that's nice. Right. So thanks everyone for coming. You're whining about... No, dude. This is not how you talk in my chat. I'm not whining about followers. I'm asking people to share the show. And I'm giving instructions on how they should share the show. Yeah? Just look at the title. Does what after Flat Earth Early Bird and the number, if the text after that part appeals to you, then you should check out the show. Do you not know anything about it and it doesn't really appeal to you? Well, then you shouldn't check it out. There's so many shows, right? Nobody can be expected to just watch all of it, especially when they come to the table here late. No point in talking to me. Not like that. No, not talking like that. Not with that attitude. Right. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming. Hope you liked this show. If you did, then please don't forget to Rogan's it up. And if you haven't already, follow me here on Rumble and be here when I'm going live, which is normally 2 p.m. Amsterdam time every day. And please also do support me through PayPal, Patreon, Gifts and Go. Links are in the description box below, or send me a super chat over at the Rumble live chat when the show is live. Or subscribe to my channel and support me that way. Any support would be greatly appreciated. I could really use it. Right, I'll be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 2335 on Tuesday. Everything goes alright. I might just not do it now. This heat. I do kind of feel like on the edge of getting sick and all that, so I've had some weird issues in my throat. So there might be some inflammation things going about. I'm not sure. Gotta take it easy. Right, anyway, but I plan to go live tomorrow, so. Right, everybody have a great rest of the Monday. Hope you have great weather too, and if it's really hot, don't forget to stay hydrated. If you have very pale skin, make sure that you're gonna have cover out there. Don't get sunburned. Right, and yeah, until the next video, keep it flat.